Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, where I'm excited to play some vanilla runs. I've been doing, you know, the way that the videos come out is staggered. We get a cane run on a random streak today, or our attempted random streak, and PN6HL02B. I've been playing a lot of modded runs, temporally speaking, lately. I'm excited to get back down to, like, the vanilla language. I feel like... Don't mind if I do. Toxic Shock. Seriously one of my favorite items in the game. And you know what's neat about it in terms of being one of the favorite items in the game? It has, like, almost no synergies that are actually cool. It just by itself, like, statically speaking, is a fun item to have. It's like the, I mean, if you subscribe to the idea that Mom's Knife is boring, it's like the anti-Mom's Knife. Nothing works with it, and yet still, it's excellent. It's like, I was gonna say Werner Herzog, but I mean... Even though he is the director at the helm of his movies, I don't think that means nobody works with him. In fact, he seems very well liked, but I have no idea. Anyway, the metaphor fell flat, but that's okay. Because so did Duke of Flies. Now, we've been losing a lot lately. We've been losing so much it'll make your head spin. But I'm ready to refactor the way that we've been playing lately and start to do, hopefully, a little bit better. Not just better, but more fun as well. Not too many of the losses that we've had have really felt, at least to my memory, not too many of the losses that we've had have really felt to me like they were colossal mess-ups, but I could be mistaken. I'm going to play it one more time. This could be a shop. If it's a library, that's also fine. It is a shop, and why do I think that this is okay? Because, well, I'm going to blow this up, get a nickel out of it, grab this. And then I should be able to play this one more time without it taking a spirit heart. Sweet. I don't know how good that really is, because we're still not too far away from death, but assuming we don't, you know, get hit by a champion anytime soon, we should be in a good spot. Actually, we have more HP than I originally realized anyway, because we can't get into our boss trap room. So we must be 1 HP higher than I thought we were. Okay, it's gonna be one of those runs, huh? Dad's key opens all doors. And even some doors that are not doors. I.e., the secret room doors. We didn't need to grab that yet, but that's okay, because it helps us reset. Oh, you know why? Because we have more HP... sorry, what I mean to say is we have more HP than I thought. Because of the fact that, we have super bandage. But I'm going to be stupid and not do the math. And instead... just hope that we're in a good spot. You know, I like taking the stopwatch here, because the stopwatch, to me... I'm gonna grab both of these, because then we get 2 more free plays, even though we probably get more than that. Are you hearing that? Oh, it's a... I got so freaked out there, dude. The music changed, and I was like, oh my god, did I leave, like, a mod on in the background or something like that? No, it's just the stopwatch music. At first I actually thought it might have been a commercial. Like from another tab that I had open. That was funny. We have fun here on this show. 3,000 episodes in. You say there's nothing new to see? Did you catch the little delectable bone moa when Northernlion thought he left a tab open and a Chevrolet ad started playing? What a delectable little exciting time to be alive. Anyway, I like the stopwatch because it makes Hush and Delirium substantially more plausible. You can have a much worse run that still ends up succeeding as a result. We still have a 100% deal with the devil chance. You can really see the little Tomo face on pin when you have the stopwatch active here. Let's see. I mean, I'd like to have a bomb available for our boss fight, but it may or may not happen. It will not happen. Neither will secret room access, but that's okay. This is fine, because when these enemies die, they're going to leave a little toxic pool, right? So actually left a huge toxic pool. Is that something I've never realized about Toxic Shock Syndrome before? They leave a toxic pool proportional to the size of the object that created it? Anyway, what I'm getting at is that, unfortunately, that toxic is not airborne, but it does create a little bit of like a chain reaction, or at least... The silkworms, when they get created, will be easier to kill because they're going to come with a little bit of their HP milled to begin with. By the way, that's a cool idea I hadn't considered. What about items that shoot poison clouds? Like 2 different kinds of poison. Poison on the ground. Well, I guess there's 3 different kinds of poison, because there's poison trails. gonna take Guppy's collar, but not the Dark Crown because it's bad. Let's just get out of here. Or, you know, Lemon Mishap is another example. I'm just trying to think about how best to explain the item. I think you get it more or less, but, you know. What if you had poison or toxic, but it was airborne instead? You could call it, like, you know, you get noxious tears. When the tears have the noxious effect and they hit an enemy, they create a cloud. It hits enemies on the air and in the ground, instead of just enemies on the ground, like Toxic Shock Syndrome. Or Mysterious Liquid, for that matter. Just throwing it out there. I don't know, maybe there's no descriptor that describes an enemy as flying, but I have to imagine that there probably is in the engine. How else, you know, do you code their behavior to get them to ignore gaps on the ground and fly over them as if they were not there in the pathfinding? Just throwing it out there. Just a little taste. I'm not gonna do it. Maybe I'll do it. I've been thinking, like, you know, maybe I would do like a little video series on making a mod. The problem is it's gonna be boring content, and it's more of a tutorial than it is actually entertaining. It could still be cool, but the problem is, I don't take this the wrong way. In many ways, you know, YouTube gives me my most honest feedback. You know, when I'm doing an Isaac episode, they go, hey, you sound particularly stupid today. Are you feeling okay? Do you have, like, a brain injury or something lately? And, you know, that's honest. Constructive? Maybe not. But honest, I can't deny it. However, if I ask for a suggestion, I'm disproportionately likely to get positive feedback, I think, and that's not really fair. If I go, you know, hey, I'm thinking about making another video every single day. You guys are too nice. You're like, yeah, I'll watch that. Because what do you have to lose, right? In the whole game theory of the system, if you like it, beautiful. You know, more content. If you don't like it, you just don't watch it. For me, though, you know, I mean, for everybody, there's only a limited amount of time in the day. But, you know, from my perspective of being the person who has to make the content, that time maybe is better served elsewhere. But I don't know. Certainly, I don't want to be doing 4 Isaac videos a day where... I probably should have just paid for that. Or not paid for that, I should say. Fat Odd Mushroom, your time has come. You're no longer in my pool of items I accept 100% of the time. Much of the time, I probably will, but... not this time. Anyway. Maybe, maybe not. I'm just spitballing ideas. These are ideas I had on the plane on the way home. Sometimes plane ideas are great. You know, everybody's heard like a story. Oh, my cousin was on the airplane. He came up with the idea for Tinder. I mean, maybe not everybody's heard that story because I specifically made that one up, but you get the idea. But there's been some stupid plane ideas as well. Like the idea of the... you know, the mask that you insert your face into, and then it has a bunch of razor blades on the inside, and it shaves your face like a big old razor, but instead of you having to actually shave, it just shaves your entire face by adhering to the contents, or the contours of it to begin with. Now, I know some of you are saying that's genius. I still think that that's true. A lot of people said it was stupid, though, and that was an idea that came from an airplane. Well, it came from me, but I was on an airplane when I came up with it. So, yeah, so basically... not every plane idea is great right off the bat, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. Ooh, that was well worth the bomb investment, without a doubt, but we have spent a lot just to get to items that are worse than Odd Mushrooms, so... yeah, I mean, it's a great item. It's an easy win, but I'm gonna skip it, not just because... yeah, I'll take Fruitcake instead. Not just because it's too easy, but I do agree that sometimes it's boring as well. Let's save our Mom's Knife pickups for... runs where, well, if it happens early, that's one thing, I'd probably take it. I mean, Caves 1, I guess, is pretty early, but, and if it happens on a run in which we're fucked, more power to us, as far as I'm concerned, but, and I reserve the right to take it, of course, in any situation, but if, oh, I don't have any bombs. If it's on a run like this, where it's more like, you know, I think we're pretty much, I wouldn't say set, but we're in a good spot, like the run has the potential to become something cooler than just, hey, another Mom's Knife run, that's a win, then dope. We should stop taking so much dumb damage, though. We should also stop standing right next to enemies, because, you know, Fire Mind is going to make us pay. But Hive Mind is an item. I'm glad we passed up Mom's Knife to get to Hive Mind. I won't be if we die, but for now I am, because I quite like Hive Mind. Or, sorry, I quite like not Hive Mind, not Fire Mind. I quite like Fruitcake. And it's, It's become an item that I've gotten a lot more appreciation for as I've gotten older. And I say that with deliberate absurdity, because I was thinking, another thing I was thinking in the airplane was, I hate that phrase. I use it myself sometimes. You know, people ask me for advice, and I go, well, you know, as I've gotten older. And I hate that expression, and I've used it before, as mentioned, but the reason I hate it might not be obvious right off the bat, but once I explain it, I think it will be. That is basically just your way of saying, you know, I'm older and thus smarter. I've changed in a way that is positive. But it's not necessarily a good thing that... I'm phrasing this in a very clumsy fashion, but I hope it's going to become clear. Let me make my point, or at least strengthen it, by giving you an example of a logical absurd. What if I said, as I've gotten older, I've really started to enjoy drinking to excess, or something like that. See, a little red flag is going to go off in your mind, because you're going to say, you know, sometimes that's fun, but that's not really a wise decision, especially maybe as you age, and, you know, your health becomes more fragile, and your priorities change, and yada, yada, yada. First off, don't tell me how to live my life. Secondly, you're completely right. And thirdly, this is satire. But that's what I'm trying to get at, is you might as well just say, recently. But as I've gotten older implies that the decision that you've made is right. If you're like, hey, what's, you know, your finance advice? Well, as I've gotten older, I've preferred betting it all on black. That's really you saying, like, my answer is correct and I'm a smart person. That's the answer will determine that. You say, as I've gotten older, I started to prefer Kraft singles to regular cheese. That's wrong. Actually, it's an opinion. No, actually, it's wrong, though, and you should keep that opinion to yourself, unless you're deliberately, you know, making something up for the purposes of, you know, being ridiculous, in which case, carry on. That is pretty much what I do on a regular basis. Alright, so because we have Charm of the Vampire, let's get down and dirty with this. So that was beautiful. Anyway, you can talk to people about your Kraft singles addiction, that's fine. I guess I prefer the phrase recently, because that's really what you're saying. As I've gotten older, there's never an as I've gotten younger. So really, like, anytime you say as I've gotten older, you're really just what the expression is good at is telling me, have you gotten smarter or dumber as you've gotten older? Because, you know, some people get smarter, some people get dumber, some people get smarter, and then they get dumber. Some people get dumber, and then they get way dumber. So, you know, that if you said, you know, as I've gotten older, I've really started to believe that the Easter Bunny is, wait, where am I going with this? Like, I'm gonna vote for the Easter Bunny to be president. There we go. I would be like, it's not very astute of you. What you're telling me is that I met you at the wrong time in your life, like Fight Club style. I should have met you when you were like 18. Maybe you'd have a little bit more of trenchant wisdom instead. It's not how the situation has presented itself, is it? Like, as I've gotten older, started caring a little bit less about my deal with the devil. I've started caring way more about my deal with the devil. No, I've started caring way less about, you know, what I eat sometimes. When I was like 17, I was like, I'm not eating that cheeseburger. Are you kidding me? I gotta get abs, man. College is soon. It was a foolhardy endeavor, or was it? That doesn't mean that I've gotten smarter. If anything, I've just gotten lazier. But the expression itself does hold true. I think this joke has overstayed its welcome, but there was originally a purpose in it. Oh, I get it. So if you smack the mushroom with a big ol' hand, it doesn't break it. Seems real fair, game. Seems real fair. By the way, I have been made to royally pay for not taking Mom's knife. The run is still fine, and should stay fine, but really wish that maybe the game would see fit to hook me up a little bit more than it has thus far. With poor damage, this room has proven to be a little bit of a nightmare, or at least semi-poor damage. This room has proven to be a little bit of a nightmare. The Fool card. Very valuable for, oh, jeez, escaping boss rush, which is still something that's plausible. Actually, the run isn't even as bad as it looked. Obviously, I don't want to take any more damage at the hands of my own fruitcake shots. You kind of accept that as part of the territory when you take an item like fruitcake. You're like, yeah, I'm probably gonna hurt myself probably this is going to look like the wrong decision at times. And if I play badly, it may even be the wrong decision. I don't disagree with that. However, I'm sticking by it here. I kind of don't want to fight these enemies. I thought that they had a good chance to hit me. I was wrong! As I often am. As I've gotten older, I've found that I'm wrong a lot more often. Now, there's a sentence that's tough to tease apart. Am I getting wrong more often? Or being wrong more often? Or am I just noticing that I'm wrong more often? Am I surrounding myself with smarter people, or am I more open to the possibility that I might not know everything? You know, there's that old... I believe it's a Mark Twain quote. I believe it's a Mark Twain quote, but I could be wrong. He said, you know, when I was 14... I'm paraphrasing. When I was 14, my parents were freaking idiots. I knew everything. I was Mark Twain. I'd already written The Tale of One City by then. Little did I know what it would become later in life. And then it was like 10 years later, I was surprised to see how much those stupid idiots had learned in only a decade. See, the thing is, Mark Twain, very ironic. He had the booze, he had the chronic, and the Lakers beat the Supersonics. I know what you're going to ask me. Did Mark Twain feel on the big fat fanny? Did he pull out the jammy and perhaps kill the punani? Well, I don't kiss and tell. As I've gotten older. Thank you. Yeah, so, I don't know. That joke was... Mostly I was trying to Mike Birbiglia and like, bury a message accidentally in a, something that was based in absurdity. By the way, I'm only taking the pony here because I want to get all the consumables conceivably available to us on this floor. That is an asshole enemy, and he has asshole friends. Hit us twice with his tractor beam bullshit. I am not going to take the pony long term, but I am going to take the pony for now, because if I don't, I might miss out on some consumable. I might take more damage as a result of it. Anyway, stand further back. Part of this is that, I mean, I'm a bad influence on myself, right? I've got poor shot, or not shot speed, but poor rate of fire. So I'm like standing here. I'm not firing as fast as I'd like. How can you improve the speed at which you kill enemies? Well, you could move towards them. That was actually quite good. Don't normally use the pony's active effect to good effect like that. High Priestess, we got the Fool card. Ooh, there we go. Now that we have a actually great fire rate up, I should be a little bit less tempted to run into every single enemy that we see. You're the only N I see. That actually came out super wrong. You know, it was a riff on the old joke. You're the only 10 I see? But then, due to the complexities of the English language, it became easy to interpret in an alternative direction, which I did not consider within the bounds of improvisational, off-the-cuff remarks, and for that I apologize. Either way, man, this dude is big. Changing the subject. One makes you larger. How ironic, again. I mean, this is just how zombies look these days, I guess, you know? Ever since the introduction of human growth hormone into the sport, they all got GH gut. NL knows about gains, okay? Back in the day, me and Charles Atlas used to walk around the beach kicking sands in the face of nerds like you. Stealing your girl and writing articles in Men's Fitness magazine about how the best post-workout drink was a gallon of milk and a Marlboro cigarette. Okay? I'm not 80 years old. I think Charles Atlas was born in like the 1910s, actually, but you get the idea. We still do hang out, though. We're best friends. I guess I should have just waited this one out, but this is actually really good. The fact that we have a demon heart now means... Will this open? I thought it might open these locks. Not that it matters, but... might mean that we can actually snag a deal with the devil chance here. And via that deal with the devil chance, we may be able to snag an item that makes our run better. Might I suggest something like a mom's knife, for example? But actually, I think it's Serpent's Kiss. It's providing us with a decent amount of black cards here, which is really helping me out. I I gotta let Tomo buddy in. Hello, Tomo. We could take Jar of Flies, but it's kind of lame. So instead I'm gonna take Bad Gas. We don't need a bomb or a battery charge, etc., etc. And Dad's Key does not give you access to Boss Rush. I know we could donate, by the way, but we have the Fool card, and we've sacrificed to make the Fool card work for us, so we really should try to make this happen. Tomo, of all the places you could sit in this room, you choose to go into the box, which contains the play button YouTube sent me for getting 100,000 subscribers. Recently fell off my wall and the frame broke a little bit. There you go, buddy. You're more important than the silver play button, Tomo. Just barely, though. It depends who's asking. I mean, with the teleportation card, we might as well fight Mom. We got a 100% deal with the devil chance for now, and a pretty good chance to at least get into Boss Rush. Red Mom is the wrong mom for us to be fighting. Yeah, I had a feeling. I can't really see the shadow because of Curse of Darkness. Not to... Oh my god, my deal with the devil chance. Not to cast blame elsewhere. I almost feel like the Red Mom fight... Well, I was gonna say it might be a little bit harder. Yeah, you know what? I kind of think it is. The foot comes down, like, just as quickly. I can't believe we're almost gonna die here, though. I mean, we possibly could die. Frozen, frozen, frozen. I'm being very quiet here. That was lucky, dude. I'm also trying, I was trying not to shoot at the foot. Oh, you're not even gonna let me walk on any. Well, on the bright question mark side, there's really, where'd you go, Tomo? There's really no reason for us to risk not coming back to life. Oh, yeah, you can exit now. Risk not coming back to life over, like, Iron Bar, but that was a pretty horrible mom fight. Hey, what the hell, dude? I didn't even shoot at an enemy that time, you dang jerk. All stats up, then shuffle. Damage down, luck up. I don't want to fight anything. Thank you. Okay, okay, okay. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? There's got to be red hearts back here, right? It's worse, in a way, to lose after avoiding Mom's knife, because it just gives you an excuse. And there's nothing worse than, like, you know, you don't get that many, like, big breaks in your life, you know? You don't get that many chances. You don't get that many shots. I think Eminem said it. He said, you only get maybe 3 to 4 shots. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. So, there's nothing I resent more than when somebody gets an opportunity and then they deliberately self-sabotage by not taking that opportunity because they think they're gonna fuck it up anyway. It just gives them a convenient excuse. It's a bad habit. It's a self-destroying habit, and I don't know when I became, you know, Mr. Self-Help here, but I'm just... There is a second secret room. I'm just saying, you know, there's nothing worse than like, hey, Slugger, want to come work at head office in New York City? And they go, psh, nah, I'll just fuck it up anyway. You're like, ooh, we've made a grave mistake. Sorry, I thought you were a cool dude. It turns out you're a little bitch. We don't want you to work in head office. You can work in fucking dead office. You're fired, buddy. We're not going to kill you. That would be a huge HR violation, but it was a snappy quip to come back with. So, like, that's what I mean when I say that there's nothing worse than, like, passing up Mom's knife and then losing, because it gives us the opportunity to, you know, go into that own weakness in ourselves and be like, well, if we'd taken Mom's knife, we could have won. That's a little baby's way out. What we should do is, because we got Mom's knife and said no to it, we should try twice as hard so we don't have to resort to that nonsense. And I think we still got a good chance on this run. I just got thrown for a loop on that Mom fight. So what's the way out of it? How do we How do we make it up to you and to me? If you could beat Jason Magnastaten. Magnastaten? Is this a good time to point out I am still a little bit on the jet lag side of things. My hope and dream is that in some way that's going to lead to better commentary. I think that has been proven false over the course of this episode. It's actually Jason Magnastaten, and don't you forget it. I don't know what Staten Island is. Isn't that the island that the Statue of Liberty's on? Or is it just, that's on Ellis Island, but you ride the Staten Island ferry in order to get a view of the Statue of Liberty, something like that, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Well, you know what, it actually does matter a little bit, because that's something you should know for like a trivia question. That's one of those ones where, you know, if it came up on Jeopardy, well, especially because Jeopardy's an American show, although it's hosted by a Canadian. If you went on Jeopardy and the question was like, you know, on which island is the Statue of Liberty located, and you said Staten Island, and you were incorrect, then you know they would laugh at you. There would be, I'm not saying it would be, you know, who is the spiciest meme lord as far as Jeopardy memes go, but that might make the, you know, fails of the week or something like that. Maybe that would be good press, though. What do I know? They said, any press is good press. So I took what I could get. I took what I could get. She looked at me with this terrible impression of the Guess Who and said, you ain't seen nothing yet. It might be BTO. Can't remember. You know what I want to see? This is a headline I didn't realize. I'm just letting little Steven do the dirty work for me here. This is a headline I didn't realize I needed until just now. What about BTO, BTFO'd by LFO? The light funky ones. You know, New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick. Wonder how much damage that song has done to Chinese food. I'm not assuming it's a lot, because, you know, to the best of my knowledge, Chinese food still exists. But you think that there was like an LFO dip, that if you go to like a Chinese food trade show, they're like, oh man, I sure hope there's no pop songs that demonize like a whole subcontinent's cuisine. Really bad for the myriad restaurant owners worldwide. But then again, I guess you'd have to be kind of an idiot to be like, I don't know though, imagine you were like, if you're 13 and you hear New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits, Chinese food makes me sick, you'd probably be like, funny line, but I love Chinese food. If you were like 5 and you got it ingrained in your head, you might start to believe, just implicitly, Chinese food is more likely to make you sick than non-Chinese foods. I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't know what you're gonna say. You're gonna bring up some issues with food safety, and I'm gonna say that that's ignorant. And you're gonna say, well, maybe the facts back it up, and I'm gonna say, never tell me the odds. Also, I'm still on the fence about food poisoning really being. I believe it's a real thing. I just think it's misdiagnosed a lot, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, do not die here. Beautiful. Bad trip. Bad trip is so good. Speed up is important. Those are just question marks, which matters very little. Bad gas is not important. Onsus is important. So really what I'm thinking is we go in here. Hopefully we don't get hit. That would be a good start. But if we get hit, we just pop bad trip. Chinese food makes me strip. I'm just trying to get some good press, because any press is good press. So they took what they could get. She looked at my Grubhub menu and said, I'll take a numero set. That's another, like, French joke. It doesn't really make any sense. You know, I guess if you go to a Chinese food restaurant in Montreal, you probably order in French, right? Baby, you order lo mein in French. I don't think we're gonna make it to the Hush fight. I also, like, am just continuously disappointed that I can't seem to make a, like, super winnable run out of this despite giving up Mom's knife. Like, am I not supposed to be, given, like, the keys to the city or something like that for having the tenacity to withstand the temptation? Because if this is what awaits you when you willingly pass up mom's knife, I'm like, I mean, it could be worse. We could not have fruitcake, lump of coal, etc., but not. Oh yeah, it's obviously there. Just put a bomb and check for it. But like, it's not not an exceptionally strong run. Maybe we quit rerolling too early. We did get spun. Okay, so this is starting to turn this around. You know, 6.54 damage with a great rate of fire. It's nothing to sneeze at. I don't know. I don't know if we want to do that. It seems like that could only lead to despair at this point. There is something, you know, you get a chip on your shoulder a little bit. You want to beat the run because you didn't take mom's knife. But to be honest with you, most of the runs we win, now you're going to say it, and never tell me the odds, but most of the runs we win are without mom's knife and without brimstone. So really, I don't think we've handicapped ourselves that much. But we need to prove it by not getting screwed over here. I think we've gotten ourselves mostly out of the weeds, but you never know. That's why I'm saving Onsus. You know, I definitely want to pop Onsus at the latest possible moment. I think the latest possible moment that is relevant is probably the Cathedral. We got a 4 luck stat, so we expect, you know, maybe the shop will be half decent. And on the Cathedral, I'll probably... Oh, that was dumb. That being said, on the Cathedral, I'm probably going to start using Dad's key to skip rooms. Especially once we know where the bosses are. Boss is, I guess. Not where the bosses are. Having a little trouble with the verbal processing areas of my brain today. A lot of travel will do that for you, man. I said it in a mod episode recently, but you know, when you go to when we go to the East Coast, and we have to hang out on like East Coast normal person time. It's the exact opposite on the sleeping spectrum of where we are. And I mean that sincerely. When you live on PST and you go to bed not at normal people hours. No offense, I'm not trying to say that we're abnormal. I'm just saying our sleeping schedules are abnormal relative to someone who has a, you know, 8:30 to 4:30 or 9 to 5 job. Sure, thank you. Moldy bread, much appreciated. Then you have to go to a place where you're gonna be on a normal schedule and the time zone is fucked up. That's when you're screwed. See, for us, if we go to Japan, because we're on an abnormal schedule, it's actually very easy to adjust to a normal person's schedule going to the west. Technically, if you look on a map, I guess Japan's to the east, but you're flying west to get there, from Vancouver at least. Okay, we might not have deserved to deal with the devil, so I'm not too displeased here. Now, is this a good idea? Probably not. Might be able to snag something decent, and I would say that's worth it. This is showing up all the time lately, but I'm happier for it. And we did lose our hush chance by doing that, and to that I say good. Thanks for the excuse, because things could have been a little touchy there. If one of these isn't a luck upgrade, I will be like a 1 out of 10 pissed off. Okay, so get ready. Earmuffs on the kids, because things might get... Oh, okay, there's another... You son of a bitch. Make me waste my freaking time on this room for no GD reason. There's a library. Okay, all's forgiven. I don't like this room. Just wanna kill an enemy. I don't wanna have to... I was told there would be no math. Okay, load that dude up with explosivo shots. Might destroy his little minion friends there. I forgot we had lifesteal as well, so the lifesteal is really gonna carry us well here. Do I have, like, the wafer or something? Let me rephrase. Why am I not dying? I don't think I have the wafer. I think I would remember that. Which would be hilarious if I did have the wafer, but I won't get the joke. That joke is for you, if it ends up happening that way. I think maybe I'm just getting... Not even lucky, I guess, but just... I'm getting convenient lifesteal. In which case, you know, I'm actually quite happy about that. I know I said this run was sorted, but things have gotten sketchy here. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. So I'm tempted to bring, like, Book of Sin into the boss fight. Ruka said that's a bad idea, though. Oh, never mind. We're totally fine. Not Book of Sin, sorry. Book of Shadows. Alright, Ruka. Come on in, buddy. How are you doing? I'm fine, thank you, and you? He's very meowy today. I mean, you know, mission confirmed there. Hey, Ruka, are you from Hawaii? Because your name should be Meowie, which is the capital of... Hey, don't bite that. Ruka. Let's do this. I'm actually going to save the strength card. The HP upgrade in the whole scheme of things probably is not really that good, but I'm happy we have it. That was horrible. Luckily, pretty much no matter what, we're going to get back to full HP, so... and the stopwatch is going to be super useful on these, like... That's the main reason for having the stopwatch at this point, after the nerfs to it, is that it's going to make... Wrong place to stand. It's going to make those, late game, like, super boss fights that much easier, so... I'm not too bummed out about getting hit once. The question is really, like, do we want to do more of the chest to try to make it happen? On the one hand, I think mathematically we'll probably kill Mega Satan with what we have right now, and the strength card active as well. However, this run's a little shitty. Like, it just kind of isn't that noteworthy, right? Like, it's just hitting them in the face with tears. That's not even a #1 at, you know, the Binding of Isaac McDonald's. That's like a #1 plane. Oh, that was a real smart bit of damage right there. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave the keys up on the table because we want to, and then go down to the next floor. We're gonna use Dad's key. We're gonna open these and hope for some decent stuff. Okay, I mean, Sad Onion is really good if we can get the tears for it, and Sagittarius is great, and Friend Zone is okay. Although, oh, because of stuck, our orbitals don't rotate, which could actually be great. And I don't think we want Dad's key anymore, so we'll roll Game Kid. And what's the big idea with Game Kid? I think we should really... I mean, we can use it whenever we want, but our tears are pretty good now. So I think we use it after we get hit, so that we get some value out of the lifesteal. In theory, at least. I guess that was a Serpent's Kiss tier that did damage. I don't know. It doesn't really matter in the whole scheme of things. The obvious reason we're doing these rooms is chests. And we got none there. But we should, with 4 luck and Contract from Below, I just want to go until I get something that, like, is pretty good. And this isn't about, like, bravado. It's more like... There we go. Magnet and Blue Baby's Only Friend. We'll take Blue Baby's Only Friend. We might as well take Magnet, although a Perthrow could fall. I'm sure there's going to be no shortage of potentially, like, not that good items that we could reroll. But yeah, the run is fine. It's the exact same damage I took earlier. But why not try to amp it up a little bit? It'll just make the fight against Mega Satan that much more fun. And beyond that, it might also improve our chances of beating it. If you know what I mean. And plus we might win as well. Double entendre. I forgot what this item is. Oh, Booger Tears! Which, with piercing shots, I hope it still works. It seems to, although that could be Explosivo. It's happening more frequently than I would expect from Explosivo, so that's good. And then Shielded Tears. Nothing wrong with that. Parasite's cool. Scapular's cool. Do we almost have a cool run here? I see a cool run shining through. I see your cool runnings. Published by Disney in 1994 with John Candy. Cool Runnings. You don't remember both Cyndi Lauper's smash hit True Colors and Cool Runnings by Disney? It's a film, not a song. So now I guess we'll go until we find the boss fight. Like, we put in our time up to this point. We might as well. Strength and the sun. As much as I hate to say it, the strength card Well, a modest improvement is no sun card, which basically doubles our HP. So I'm gonna stick with that as our go-to item right now. But I'd be lying if I said didn't want some more chests on this run. Have we deserved it? I don't think we deserve anything necessarily, but we're hoping for it, and that's something. Rebellions are built on hope, I believe is what another Disney product said about rebellions. Wait, about hope is what I mean to say. Ace of Hearts is not relevant here. And it is actually almost never relevant. Except in like a blood baggy type situation. Child's Heart. I mean, to be honest with you, Stuck is not that useful for us right now, but it could be, you know, on a future run. So I kind of want to check it out. Man, Booger Tears and Shielded Tears is actually a really, really good combination. If you stick a shot on an enemy and they shoot, their shot does not shoot. It gets destroyed by the Shielded Tear. That's really good. They're not really good like, you know, pretty good. I mean, really good like, actually, that combo, even with shit damage, as long as you're firing enough shots and the enemies aren't doing aggressive contact damage, could be a game winner. Depends on what you're fighting, of course, but... Like, look at that. This guy cannot shoot at me. There we go. I was thinking, again, we'd go until we got the final boss fight. There's Beelzebub. And then we just go back to Mega Satan, but to be honest with you, the more rooms we've gone to without getting much of a payout, the more I'm like, we should just go kill Mega Satan. Although Beelzebub's great. Being able to fly and have some extra mobility will help out a lot on the Mega Satan fight. Stealing his flies, probably not that relevant, to be honest with you. We're pretty lucky this run came together. And you know what? In the end, we did get cool tier synergies that make me feel like if we had taken Mom's Knife, we would have missed out. Now, I wouldn't have missed out on having a little bit more leisure time to spend, you know, by myself or with my family. Because this run would have been over a little while ago. But, you know, you gotta stop and smell the roses sometimes. I'm very bad about that. Like, when I'm done eating in a restaurant, I know, like, I'm selling myself out. This is one of... Ooh, little brim. It's one of Kate's pet peeves about me, but it's so like built into my psychology that I don't understand, or I find it hard to change it at least. When I'm done eating at a restaurant, I'm done. And that's actually, let me rephrase that. When everybody's done eating at the restaurant, I'm done. Like, I see no value to hanging out at the restaurant, like with empty plates, just talking to one another. I'm like, I can talk at home, but you know, sometimes you go out and the person you're with, in this case my wife, is like, I want to relax and spend time with you. But something in my brain is like broken. She eats slower than me, which is actually 100% fine, and not the source of this issue. But when I'm done, I like look at her, we have conversation, she's done. And then she like fills up another glass of tea or something from the kettle on the table, and I'm like, I don't understand that. For me, that would never occur to me in a million years, and I understand it's fundamentally something with me. People, they mistake it as rudeness. It's not really rudeness. I would love to keep hanging out. I just don't want to be at the restaurant anymore. The restaurant has served its purpose. If we don't have a place that we can gather, I understand that. But if we do have a place that we can gather, I'd like to get to that place, you know, have some more freedom. I'm free to do what I want any old time, you know? Just like that not Spin Doctors. Who sang that? I can't remember. It came out like 10 years before I was born, so not really a big deal in the whole scheme of things. What I'm getting at is I'm not really that good at stopping and smelling the roses, you know? And I should get better at it. I live a pretty... And I don't buy into, you know, a lot of New Age spiritualism, but I understand the concept of living in the present. And I do live in the present for the most part, I think. I enjoy life, to be honest with you. And I don't spend too much time, I think, worrying about, like, oh, you know, what's going to happen if the Canucks use their built-up goodwill to sign a contract well over what the competitive AAV would be for 38-year-old wingers on a steep decline. You know, I don't worry too much about the important issues like that in the future. Most of the time, anyway. But for some reason, like Somebody was like, hey, let's just sit here and like look at this thing. Like, let's look at this sunset. I'm like, I don't get it. My body is telling me to get out of here. I don't really want to fight Delirium. I've already done a Delirium run today on a daily. We would get more items, but we want to. That's not just a sense of duty. I was also thinking, like, you know, we're going to get some more items down here, so we should give it a shot. I'm gonna go for boss fights. Odds are, even without trying, we probably won't get Delirium first. And man, what a run, right? Pass up Mom's Knife and possibly, that might be the actual question mark card. Pass up Mom's Knife and fight Delirium all on the same run? What can I say? I'm a changed man, apparently, for some reason. That was beautiful. That justified us coming down to this floor, that light show. Keep it up, Evel Knievel. Evel Knievel doesn't do light shows, I think, but you can't deny that light has been a part of all of his shows, even if it's just the absence of light. And then followed by pyrotechnics when he lands his stunt or gets critically injured, etc., etc. So it's not, it was not question marks, it was paralysis. Equally, well, not equally bad, actually, but still bad. We gotta stop. The one thing I hate about Fruitcake, and I understand it as a perhaps necessary step in the balancing process, but I hate that you can't just shoot all the time, because it's such like a normal Isaac thing to do, is to just shoot all the time on every run, and then, you know, for example, that happens. Oh, my flies are stuck with stuck as well. Now that's interesting. I can't help but feel that that's probably not destructively bad, but bad nonetheless. Because they should be homing. They still seem like they're homing. It's just when there's nothing on the screen. Alright, well in that case, you know, no harm, no foul, right? I think we may die against Delirium. We used our Sun card. I was kind of thinking like, yeah, we'll use it, but we'll probably get another one. We haven't gotten another one yet, and we're pretty close to a very potentially Delirium stacked area here. I'll settle for a full health pill. Okay, how generous. Homing bombs is actually fine. We could use 38 of those. And we got Delirium, so prepare yourself. Apparently he's almost dead. Oh, no, we've been lied to and then crapped on. Actually, this is totally fine. Booger Tears combined with the stopwatch. So we're predominantly facing very, very slow enemies who will have damage stacked up on them. Could actually be really, really good for us. He's got to be dead like any second now. Yeah, I actually think we're going to be completely fine. I'm happy we came down to this floor, although we didn't get too much in the whole scheme of things, you know. Comes to our own quality items. I don't know, again, we continue to take damage from mysterious phantom sources, but that was one of the more impressive ways I've taken damage, I think. It's about halfway through the fight, way less than halfway through our HP. I.e., way more than half of our HP remaining. Now that's an impressive move. A little cheap, maybe, but I relent. I think that was just, that's one we could have dodged if we were fucking clairvoyant. But I'm not so mad to be hit by that one as I am to be hit by just, you know, a tier being instantiated on top of us. I feel like there's lots of shots stuck to him, but for some reason I can't see them. But dude, we got some killer status effects. Like, they're actually crushing it here. We should be about to win here. Mama Gertie does look a little janky from time to time. Thank God for the stopwatch as well. Without that, we'd be in a bit of a dicey situation, maybe. Instead, like, honestly, the back half of this fight has been extremely easy. We've been gaining HP up until that moment where I ruined it by being a little silly. And that's an easy win. It wasn't really artificially extended due to delirium, at least not that much anyway. Cool run, weird run. Thanks for watching and smelling the roses with me. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.